Direct from central London, it's the annual What Car Award ceremony for 2004. There'll be an award for each of 18 categories of cars. Plus, one car tonight will be crowned Car of the Year for 2004. And now, here's your host, Group Editor, Rob Ahern.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to reveal the winners of this year's What Car of the Year Awards.
Well, it's the glittering night of the year as far as the car industry is concerned. It's the What Car Awards here at the Hilton Hotel. Steve Fowler is with me. Steve, a bit of history about the What Car Awards.
It really is a big thing in the motoring calendar. I myself have been doing it for 10 years now. 10 years, first one back here in 1994, so it brings back a lot of memories. But it really is a big evening. If you look at the people inside, it's the great and good from the motor industry. There's some very worthy winners, I know that. A few surprises as well, so the audience should be in for a couple of shocks.
I mean, who are the main contenders then for this evening's awards?
Well, there's a lot of big hitters that have been launched over the past 12 months. New Jaguar, seems like lots of new BMWs, so I'm sure they'll be in with a shout. New Volkswagen Golf. It's been a really big year.
So what sort of impact does tonight's awards have on the motoring industry?
Well, it's not so much the motoring industry, it's the car buyer that this really has an impact on, because these are the awards that the car buyer actually takes notice of. And if you're shopping for a new car, whatever category of car, whatever price you're looking for, there'll be an award winner here tonight that should suit your pocket. So it really comes down to sales. So the guys that are sitting in the audience, those that win, will be rubbing their hands with glee in the hope that people will go and buy their cars.
The first category is city cars, starting off with Daihatsu and their little Charade. It may be a naff name, but there's space inside and it's cheap to own. Fiat know a thing or two about urban runabouts, and their new Panda is an age away from the old square utility car. The final nominee is from Seat, which mixes Latin charm with Germanic efficiency. But which is the best city car?
But our winner is the Fiat Panda.
And as Massimo Toyoso, Fiat's UK boss, gets up to collect the award, we asked the judges why they chose the Panda.
Fiat's had a long tradition of building very, very good urban cars, small cars that really punch above their weight, and I think the Panda's a classic example of that. It feels like a much bigger, more expensive car. It's very good on motorways, for example, which is somewhere where lots of small cars can fall down. You know, they're fine around town and nippy and all that kind of stuff. But when you get out on the open road, they're quite disappointing. The Panda isn't like that. It's good at everything, really. For a car that retails right down at the bottom of the market, it's very good value for money.
From one extreme to another, the performance car category.
The BMW M3 proves you don't have to spend a fortune to be able to get behind the wheel of an accomplished driving machine for less than 40 grand. The second nomination is the Porsche 911 Turbo. It's easy and civilized for everyday driving. Awesome when you get the chance to really use it. The third candidate, the Subaru Impreza WRX, is rooted in rallying. With four-wheel drive harnessing the power of its turbo engine, it's an all-weather performance car.
From three diverse but equally worthy contenders, our winner is the BMW M3.
Now, the great thing about the M3, we think, is that A, it's a lot cheaper than those sort of cars. B, while it's quite a practical car, you can seat four people in it, it's got a decent boot, there are no compromises. It's a real performance machine. And, I guarantee anybody who got behind the wheel of one would think, this is one of the best cars I've ever driven.
The next category switches the emphasis from performance to practicality, the best estate.
This class bristles with newcomers this year, like the Honda Accord Tourer, a vast and supremely practical estate that's as good to drive as the saloon it came from. 12 months ago, the Mazda 6 claimed this award with its combination of low pricing, superb packaging, smart styling and sharp driving. Can it conjure up a repeat? It will have to see off a very classy newcomer to do so. The latest Mercedes E-Class estate is both a spacious wagon and a fully fledged executive car.
Well, three cars that prove you don't have to make sacrifices to move big loads. But our favourite is the Mazda 6.
As Jeremy Thompson, Mazda's marketing director, receives his award, why did the votes go to Mazda?
The ability to carry big loads is really key and to the fore, but that's not the only thing we were looking for. With the estates, we wanted a car that was still going to be good to drive, a car that was still going to have the space you'd need for passengers, and a car that was going to handle well, heavily laden as well. So there's a lot of different facets which go to make up the ideal estate.
Moving on to the best 4x4.
Honda's CR-V is a great affordable 4x4, a clever fusion of appealing styling, estate car practicality and refined road manners. But if you want real luxury in a 4x4, there's always the Range Rover. It's amazing that one car can have such an aristocratic bearing both on and off-road. Nestling between those two on price, there's Volvo's XC90. It looks great, seats 7, has brilliant safety and drives superbly, so no wonder there's a long waiting list.
Well, all three are right in tune with the people they're aimed at, but our favourite is still the Volvo XC90.
I think these days, from the average buyer's point of view, a good 4x4 has to be pretty good on-road as well as off it, and that's very much reflected in our list of nominees. They're cars that don't penalise you, because by and large, most 4x4 buyers will spend most of their time, on tarmac. So, we're looking at cars that do the on-road job really as well as the off-road job. And, the king of them all for us is the Volvo XC90, just because it's great on-road, it can hold its own off-road, but it's so practical. It seats 7 people. There's lots of clever touches inside that make it excellent as a family car.
Now the category we love in the UK, the convertibles.
And they don't come much more desirable than the BMW 3 Series convertible. Even in its most affordable form, great to drive and has a power roof. But you don't have to spend so much to get a sexy soft top. Vauxhall's Astra convertible is solidly made and even lets you raise or lower the roof by remote control. Finally, last year's winner, the Volkswagen Beetle Cabriolet. With retro chic styling linked to modern Volkswagen quality and safety, it adds up to a bit of a bargain.
Our favourite is the Volkswagen Beetle.
Paul Willis, Volkswagen UK Managing Director, collects the award, but why did the judges go here?
I think with the convertible category, some of the more sensible criteria perhaps take a bit of a back seat. And what do you really want? You want something that's fun to drive, fun to be seen in, fun to look out the window, and you see that car and you're driving, you feel really good about it. And I think the Beetle fulfills that admirably. It's a fun thing to drive. It looks great, turns heads wherever you go. It's really just a real good feel-good car.
Let's stay open-topped for the best roadster.
And there's a serious new candidate this year in the striking shape of the BMW Z4. This recently arrived 2.2-litre version makes its thrilling abilities all the more affordable. It's thanks to the Mazda MX-5 that roadsters made a comeback at all. 14 years later, it's still selling in record numbers. Vauxhall's VX220 has had a bit of a stranglehold on this class, and now there's a turbo version, delivering 150 miles an hour performance to make it even more tempting.
Well, the VX220 has been beaten. Our roadster of the year is the BMW Z4.
In the roadster category, we were looking for a car that's going to be fun to drive, that's going to be stylish, that's really going to turn heads. And the Z4 has really got it all. It's a fantastic drive. I didn't think it would. I thought it'd be a long time before I drove a car that matched or beat the Porsche Boxster for driver appeal at that kind of price point. But the Z4 is it. It's absolutely stupendous drive.
That's all for this part. Join us soon for more car categories, and we'll reveal the winner of the Car of the Year 2004. Award ceremony direct from London's Mayfair. Our next category is the Compact Executive. The Audi A4 has so far been unbeatable here. Its quality, space, image and comfort can't fail to impress, while in turbo diesel form it's really tax-friendly. But BMW is always a name to be reckoned with. This year it's introduced a more affordable version of the Diesel 3 Series and has thrown in 5 years free servicing. Our favourite petrol contender is the Mercedes C180, now with a smooth, quiet and powerful supercharged engine, also makes the car 10 tax bands cheaper to run.
Well, perm anyone from those three, but our winner is the BMW 3 Series.
As BMW win another award, we asked the judges why this car won.
With a compact exec, we're looking for a car that's going to satisfy on all levels, whether you're a private buyer or whether you're a company car driver. You want something that's going to hold on to its value well, something with a badge that's going to have some cachet in the company car park, and something that's going to be fun to drive and really back up that image with genuine quality in terms of the build and in terms of the driving experience. And the 3 Series really does carry that off. It's not the biggest car around, it's not particularly spacious in the back if you've got to carry adults on a regular basis, but if if really the rear seat space isn't the biggest criteria for you, then the 320D really does fit the bill. It's economical, it's punchy, it's quick. It really does. For people who perhaps don't like diesel engines, this is the kind of diesel engine that's going to change your mind.
Let's move up the corporate ladder to look at the best executive car. The old BMW 5 Series won this award 7 times. The new one is more controversial in a number of ways, but also roomier, more refined and more high-tech. But the opposition has not been standing still. Jaguar, for instance, has gone to town on the S-Type and has finally made it the car it always should have been. And then there's Mercedes-Benz, winner of this award last year, with a svelte E-Class, which exudes style, grace and quality and has a great turbo diesel.
Well, it's back on top. Our winner is the BMW 5 Series.
Again, a very familiar name on the trophy for the best executive car this year, and again, it's the BMW 5 Series. But this is a totally new car. This replaces a car which won the Best Executive Car award in virtually every year of its life. It cleaned up, new rivals came and went, but every year the 5 Series remained the paragon in its class. What happened towards the end of its life, it lost a little bit of the kind of quality. Other people came along, caught it up. Its quality was lacking. It wasn't the biggest car in its class. But BMW simply went back to the drawing board, produced a car which may not be the most beautiful to everyone's eyes, but I think is a stunning, really very individual design that stands out on the roads.
But what if you've got more cash to spend on a luxury car?
Audi has struggled to conquer this class, but the latest all-aluminium A8 has the ability finally to change that. The muscular 3.7 V8 is especially keen. The new Jaguar XJ is also built of aluminium, but still immediately recognizable. There's no diesel, but a 6-cylinder XJ6 is available again with tax issues in mind. The car they must depose is the Mercedes S-Class turbo diesel. Though showing its age a bit, it's a paragon of refinement and brilliant for ownership costs.
Well, we have a new winner, and it's the Jaguar XJ6.
For our luxury car class, we really look at anything that falls into that domain, and I guess your luxury cars probably start with something like the Jaguar XJ6, which won the award at the bottom end, and go all the way up to gargantuan machines like the Rolls-Royce Phantom and the Maybach. But we think that the XJ6 is, you know, frankly does 80% of the job that any luxury car does for a fraction of the cost, and it's just a great all-round machine. It feels really special to drive, really special to ride in. Basically it does everything a luxury car does, but doesn't cost, you know, the stratospheric sums you might pay for a car like that.
Let's get down to earth with the small family car category.
Big changes are happening in this class, and if the new Mazda 3 is anything to go by, that's fantastic news. It's a great all-rounder at what seems a giveaway price. The Toyota Corolla, on the other hand, is very much the establishment. It's won this class 2 years running by being difficult to fault in any area. Looming menacingly over both, though, is the new Volkswagen Golf, and though you may think it looks familiar, it's totally all new and brilliant.
Well, our winner has a familiar name, but an all-new face. It's the Volkswagen Golf.
When buyers are looking for a small hatch, they actually don't want a small hatch. They want a sizable, spacious, comfortable and refined car, and they want plenty of quality as well. It's amazing how people's ambitions and desires have moved on in this class. You can't just make do nowadays. A car has to be absolutely perfect, otherwise it doesn't work. There have been 4 or 5 different incarnations, and it's the latest version of the Golf which picks up our Small Hatch Award this year. It's always had beautiful build quality, fantastic refinement and great comfort. All that's been lacking in the last model was a better drive and perhaps a little bit more space in the back of the car. Both those things have been addressed absolutely perfectly in this new model.
But what about the hot hatch category?
The Honda Civic Type R has been revised, but the important bits remain unchanged. A 197 brake horsepower engine and great handling with a dash of practicality for about 16 grand. Hollywood remade the Italian Job this year, again starring the Mini Cooper, and unlike the film maybe, you can certainly say today's car lives up to the original. Our final contender comes from an unlikely source. Skoda, the Octavia VRS estate, blends turbo performance and sporty manners in a practical package.
Well, try as they might, they just can't beat it. The Honda Civic Type R wins again.
A good hot hatch has to be a car that puts a smile on a driver's face first and foremost. I think your typical hot hatch buyer will live with a car that's a little bit noisy and rides a bit roughly. They want a car that provides lots of thrills, preferably for a fairly modest outlay. And we think the Honda Civic Type R, which won our hot hatch award, delivers all that in spades.
Let's move on to the top coupe of 2004. And in such an image-conscious class, the Audi TT has shown enduring appeal, or maybe that just shows how right everything was when it first appeared. You can't accuse Mazda of taking the easy route with the RX-8, which has a rotary engine and rear-hinged back doors. Don't let that put you off a sensational coupe. Finally, the Z is back, the Nissan 350Z to be precise. Can this modern interpretation of the old-school muscle car lift Nissan back to the top of the coupe world?
Well, the answer to that is nearly but not quite, because the award goes to the Mazda RX-8.
In the past, coupes have been two-seaters. They've been cramped, not necessarily the greatest cars to drive. The RX-8 doesn't fall into that trap at all. It's one of the best cars out there to drive. It's got a superb rotary engine. Performance is astonishing. The chassis is absolutely superb. And this is a car that pleases the heart and the head.
We've seen the Mini Cooper narrowly pipped to an award. So, can the less powerful, cheaper but no less charming Mini 1 go one place better? It faces two Volkswagen Polo-based rivals. The first is last year's overall winner, the 1.2-litre Seat Ibiza, a practical little car that's full of verve for only $8,500. The second is another one-time overall winner, the Skoda Fabia, that takes many of the same basics, yet switches the priorities towards space, refinement and comfort.
A tough call, but we've gone for the Seat Ibiza.
In the supermini class, we were looking for a car which really combined a big car feel, big car levels of safety and space inside, with some fun, with some excellent fuel economy, low running costs, really the complete all-round package. The Seat really fitted the bill the best of all the cars we've tested this year. It was our overall car of the year last year, and it's picked up the supermini gong again this time around. We've chosen the 1.2-litre S model. It's got plenty of poke for around town, enough poke for the open road as well. It's well equipped, it's cheap to buy, and it's got a little bit of something extra. There are plenty of cars out there that are there or thereabouts, but the Seat's just got a little something extra, a little something different, a bit more style, a bit more fun, a little bit more about it perhaps.
But which of the category winners is the Car of the Year 2004?
And the What Car of the Year for 2004 is the Volkswagen Golf. And to collect the award, please welcome the man in charge of technical development at Volkswagen, Professor Wilfried Bockelmann.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We at Volkswagen are very grateful for this award. Thank you. 4 prizes at once, and particularly to us development engineers, a very special reward, what we greatly appreciate. We are glad that you have recognized that we have taken particular account of the significance of British market requirements and the special nature of the United Kingdom roads.
Well, it has been an amazing night here in the centre of London, and as you've seen, there's been some big winners tonight, but the main one was the Car of the Year award, Rob.
Absolutely. I think the Golf is a deserving winner. It's won several times before in its life, but I think this latest incarnation really does put the tin lid on it. Excellent car, very roomy, very good value for money.
mean, was it a foregone conclusion?
Not really, because there have been some really good new cars this year. Things like the BMW 5 Series and Fiat Panda, really all over the spectrum of cars. We've seen some really good new products. So no, we spent a long and hard evening debating this one, and I think we've come out with the right choice.
I mean, some people would say it's fairly predictable. There's a new Golf around and it wins the award. Is that fair, do you think?
I don't think so. It hasn't won for a long time, and I think we were quite disappointed by the previous generation of the car, even though it's been very successful and continues to be so, right into the twilight of its life. So no, I don't think this was a predictable choice, but I think it will be a very good choice both for consumers and for Volkswagen themselves.
I mean, what were the main points of the new Mark V Golf that sort of stood out for you and made it the winner?
I think it's really its big car feel. It's really like a mini limousine inside, and yes, it's probably more expensive than some other cars in the class, but you can really see where, you can feel the quality, you can feel what, getting good value for money, and it will retain its value very well too.
And this is going to be good news for the legions of Golf fans who've been maybe holding off, waiting for the new Mark V Golf to come out, and now they can go off and purchase them and put their orders in. Safe in the knowledge it's won a big award as well.
That's right. I mean, there are plenty of Golf fans out there. I forget how many million cars they've sold so far, but I'm sure this one will continue the tradition because it really is an excellent machine.
Our chassis development, what you had just seen, had this simple but ambitious target for the Golf, just to develop the best chassis in its class. And the Touran, which in terms of running gear and steering uses some of the same modules as the new Golf, also demonstrates this. Customers can experience this technological advantage for him or herself every mile they drive. And this year, Volkswagen has been awarded these coveted prizes in the so-called compact, or what we say A-class. And I will promise you that we try hard to do so in other vehicle classes as well. Once again, thank you very much.